Sue White here, fishies. How y'all doing today?
What's up?
What's up, everybody? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. You know, it always amazes me because you guys have seen me out here when it's been cold and there's ice on top of the pond and things. The fish are at the bottom and looking like they're dead. But here they are. Look at them. Aren't they beautiful? Look at them. The thing that mystifies me more than anything else is the fact that they stop eating in like late October once the temperature gets below about 50 degrees. They just started eating a couple of weeks ago. So that's November, December, January, February, March. For 5 months, they didn't eat at all. Yet, somehow, they got bigger. If somebody can explain that one to me, I'd really like to know how the hell it is that they grew without eating. Mother Nature is incredible. So, I have been on the Christian Balmore bandwagon. That's my guy this year that I want. Whether you think it's a good move or not, you know, that's on you. But for me, there's always one guy I look at and say, that's the guy that I want that would make a difference for our defense. See, here's the problem for the Cowboys. The Cowboys look, and kind of like most fans do, when they think of defensive line, they think that they're all interchangeable. That there's not a difference between a 1 technique or a 3 technique or a 5 technique. That it's all the same. You're a defensive lineman. But see, I'm going to tell you that there's a difference where some things you need a specialist. You can't have a one-size-fits-all. You know, there's the old saying of a jack of all trades and a master of none. I will give you this one. Tyrone Crawford. Crawdad. Always loved Crawford. But Crawford wasn't really a defensive tackle, and he wasn't really a defensive end. He was kind of a Swiss Army tool guy, a guy who could play both, which was great. Because sometimes you need somebody who can fill in. But ultimately, what you need is, you need a guy who has one thing that he does really good. And see, here's the problem. When you take defensive tackle, okay? Now, I don't know why they changed the terminology. When I grew up, I was a nose guard, which means you lined up on the center. You may be nose up, you may be shaded a little to the left, shaded a little to the right, or you might have even been in the gap. But you have to understand, the difference being is this. If you're a defensive end, pretty much everything comes from one side or the other. You left or right, you're going to line up. But everything is down inside. Your focus, for the most part, is there. Now, occasionally, there may be a tight end that's double teaming you, or you might end up getting a wham block from a wide receiver that's coming down. But for the most part, everything is to this side. You follow me? You're used to having that defensive tackle who's either head up or shaded, right? You're used to sometimes having that tight end, or if you're on the other side, you're used to basically being on that island where you're the end of the line. And you're used to taking that abuse coming this way. Well, the same thing's true about a defensive tackle. You're usually lined up on the tackle, right? Or you're used to being lined up on the guard. You're used to having to worry about maybe the tackle and maybe the tight end. But for the most part, you're used to doing that. The thing about the one technique guy is you have to be ambidextrous. You know, right-handed, left-handed. You got to be able to be good with both. Because you're not used to having pressure from one side or the other. You have to be a guy who's used to getting the shit kicked out of you. Now, let's be honest. As a nose tackle, you are a big fat guy whose job is to clog up the middle. That's it. That's the only thing that you are really responsible for. If you get the sacks, great. That's icing on the cake. If you get the tackles, great. It's more icing on the cake. Or we'll say gravy on the cake. So you got icing and gravy, because if you're a big fat guy, nose tackle, you love gravy and you love icing. In fact, you combine the two of them. Because what you have to understand is, D-Law is used to facing that guy straight up. Everything is here because my focal point is right there at the quarterback. It takes a special breed of guy to be there in the middle. Because first of all, you get teased. Because every freaking play, the football is 4 inches from your nose. But yet you don't get to touch the football. You are literally that far from the center. Whereas offensive guard, he's a belt buckle away. Tackle, he's another belt buckle. There's separation. You are doing hand-to-hand combat literally as soon as the ball snaps. Your hands are on each other. You got to read. What is that center trying to do to me? Is he trying to hook me? I got to fight the pressure. I've got to get, because that's where the ball's coming. I got to be cognizant of, is a double team coming at me, as in two big fat guys are trying to knock me and blow me into the secondary, which means I've got to be prepared to drop the anchor and get on the ground. Keep that guard from chipping me and going to the linebacker. And there's very few guys that can do all of that well. Yes, you can take a tackle and move him down as a one technique, but you have to have somebody whose only job has been that guy to do it well. And we haven't had those guys to do it well. Now understand, we heard last year that the Cowboys were going to be a 3-4, 4-3, depending on situation, kind of a hybrid. And in a way, we've seen Dan Quinn do some of those kinds of things. And this is where that one technique guy is going to matter. It's easier to take a one technique guy and have him play tackle than it is to have a tackle come down and play the nose. It's two totally different sets of skills. And that's why I've been looking and saying, listen, Christian Ballman, best one technique in the draft. Is he a polished NFL player? No. But what guy is polished coming out of college? All I know is he's got a motor like a freight train, and he hits you like one. Can he be better on run technique? Sure. But he definitely is not going to be the guy who's going to be rushing outside. He's going to come straight at you, because when you're a big fat guy, the closest points you're going to be, the least amount of distance I got to run, is straight at you. I'm not doing a banana route. I'm going to go through the center, and I'm going to come knock at you because I'm tired and you made me run. And I'm going to have a bad attitude. And the Cowboys haven't had that guy in the middle with a bad attitude in forever. And I'm telling you, that guy makes all the difference on the football field. You can call me an idiot. You can be, I want the cornerback and I want the linebackers, I want the safety, but I'm telling you, in the way that we learned years ago how important the offensive line was to keep the quarterback upright, for every action, there's an opposite reaction. The reason why we needed that great offensive line is because other teams' defenses were kicking the shit out of our quarterback. Light bulb? Yeah. And that's what we need to do to other teams. You can be on the Kyle Pitts train and say, we're just going to score 50 points a game. We're just going to be a great offense. Well, Kansas City found out in the Super Bowl that sometimes defenses can shut you down, but you need the defense to shut the other guys down. So nice to see my babies again. Well, I got me some work to do. I got some flowers we're planting out here, trying to make it beautified as we get ready for the draft. I got some more leaves I need to clean up out here. And it's nice that it rained the last couple of days to help the grass try and grow. And gonna try and make the most of this day because I honestly don't know how many I have. But I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.